All right, as I edit this, I'm talking. I don't know if this is going to be beginning of a video, middle, end. I don't know. But I think it's an interesting ramble we do, so hopefully you'll enjoy. All right, YouTubers, hello there. We are still in Ohio doing stuff. Wanted to give a quick update kind of stuff. I don't think I'm going to show you. Been doing a lot of cleaning. Today we've had to deal, if you guys that watch a bit know Vinny. Vinny's had a rough few days. So we took him to the vet, and his family tree is bamboo. Everybody, there are no branches. Everybody's related to the same person or same cat. So he's diabetic, the one ear and all that. He's been having a lot of bathroom issues, which is not fun for a cat. And
it's not fun for people cleaning up after a cat.
It's really not fun. But we took him to the vet today. I was able to get him into the vet. Hold on, I gotta speed up because this guy's just gonna camp there. There we go. Was able to get him in the vet today. They think a stomach infection or something. So I was really pleased that they were able to get him in there, and they gave us some stuff to squirt in his mouth, which was great because we squirted it in there. He did not like it at all. It's the hardest he's ever fought me. And then 10 seconds after that, I've never seen a cat vomit so much. Everything that was in his stomach appeared to come up. So I called them back, and they said, well, we got a pill. We can try the pill. I was like, yeah, let's try the pill. So we cut that pill up. He seems so good right now. We're going to get him a doctor's appointment when we get back up to Michigan. We are driving to Costco now, because Costco is not 2 hours away. It's the south end of Dayton. So I've been I was going to ask the voice this. She didn't know I was going to ask her this. Those of you that have followed for a while know that Kiki, my other cat, lost her back in August of 22. And I was realizing last night, I think that cat's whole life, 15 some years, spent maybe 4 weeks away from me. And I realized Vinny has spent about 8 days away from me. And Kiki's ashes that I have, I take them everywhere I go. I have them on my keychain, but I also have a box, in a velvet bag, that if I'm in the van, they're in the van. If I'm in the Voices van, anywhere I go, Kiki's ashes go with me. I don't know how weird that might be for a lot of people, but you get these animals, and Vinny, some of you, if you watch way back, I got Vinny and I rescued him for somebody else, and then I was trying to give him away. I was trying to find him a home. And he's been a challenge, but he's such a good cat. I'm so glad that he was a boomerang cat, that he was given back to me. I wish him and the dog got along better. They're doing better. Not great. We can't trust them alone. But if we hold the dog, they're doing better. Because Vinny finally got to the point where he said, F you, dog, I'm coming out. I think he knows because we're holding the dog back. But so the last couple of days had me a little concerned. When a diabetic cat starts having issues eating and processing food, it's very concerning. Because he was off his food for about a day, and now he's back to eating close to normal. So we'll see. So if you can, put a good thought in your head for him, and we're going to go to Costco. We've done quite a bit of cleaning. I have a buddy that I'm very upset at myself with, that we've been friends for a long time, but I have not seen him in years because you always get too busy in your life. So I messaged him to tell him I was leaving because I thought I had something he might like. And there's a good chance he's my only real friend that actually watches videos, and because he knows a little bit about what's going on. So if you're watching, I'm really sorry that I haven't taken the opportunity to hang out with you more. It's a mistake on my part that I apologize for. And hopefully, if you do make it up to the UP, because his wife has some relatives up there, I'd be glad any opportunity we get to hang out again. You reminded me how much I missed hanging out with you back in the day. So, thanks. And I think that's about all I got. I got that's a little sentimental for me, and I'm not used to being sentimental, so it makes me feel like it's not an excellent opportunity to stop talking.
It's okay to have feelings.
Shush, woman. It is okay to have feelings.
Why do you men feel like you shouldn't have feelings? I don't
Well, we
understand.
have them. We just.
I know you do. You just don't want to talk about them.
If you do a little bit of research, you will find. I've seen some videos out there. There's this one video. I think I sent it to you once. There was a guy. He's sitting out back. He's got a spool of twine or a spool of wire. And his wife comes out and he says, "What are you doing?" He says, "This spool of wire. I've had this almost my whole life. And it's almost gone." And she didn't get it. You know what I mean? She didn't get what he was saying.
I don't understand the significance. Explain it to me.
You don't get it?
Like he's ready to die because his wire's almost gone? His
No.
spool's almost empty?
No, see, she didn't get it either.
Okay.
He's holding that spool of wire that he's had for 35 or 40 years.
Well, just get a new spool of wire.
No, it's not. See, women don't get it. And sometimes, in this case, this is why the guy stopped sharing with her.
Okay.
Because not like you, she kind of made fun of him for it. But that spool of wire has been a part of his life forever.
Okay. All right,
He remembers like his kids being young, and I had to fix this, and I used that spool of wire.
All right, you're going to make me cry.
I know. And then, device overheated. All right, so I don't know how much we lost of that. I'll try to listen to it before we start recording because
the sun's too hot and the camera overheated.
And I was really hopeful that. Whoop, sorry. All right. So it looked like it recorded most of what we were saying. So back to the spool of wire thing. So I need to find that video again. Maybe if I find it, I'll put it in the description. So the guy's sitting down with his wife. He's outside and she sees him fiddling around with that thing. And it's kind of a testament, like, men, we have a hard time talking about stuff. But the way when you watch that video is he's trying to explain this to him, how this piece has been with him through his whole life and marked important things through his life. It's just a spool of wire to her. She didn't get what he was saying. And he ends up with, never mind, and walks away. You know what I mean? Because men and women often struggle. You and I don't do very bad at it. We do quite well. Mm-hmm. But we communicate things differently.
Right.
And in this case, she made him feel unimportant. And men women that know us know that we have a hard time communicating as it is. So one of the rare times when you try to show something like that and try to explain something, if you're belittled by it, how he felt, then he's just going to shut down and he's not going to do it anymore. Yeah. Men do it to women too. We just seem to do it in different ways. I think men usually we stop paying attention sometimes. I know I could be guilty of that.
It's funny how people think women are the fragile ones.
No, men are fragile.
And sometimes I think men are more fragile.
Yeah, because we're raised to say you don't show your emotion. You're not allowed to have emotion.
Right.
Like most guys, me saying that I take the ashes of a dead cat everywhere I go. You know, it's on the nightstand next to my bed, wherever my bed is. Most guys would look at me like there's something seriously wrong with me, and I don't deserve a man card because of that. But in reality, everybody's allowed to have emotions. And everybody should have emotions. Now, guys, we acknowledge each other by a nod or just, hey, let's have a beer. Where women, if you have a problem in your life with your lady friends, you will talk and talk and talk and talk. And if a guy's having a problem, he'll go to a buddy and they'll have a beer and not have to say a lot, but it's better. It's just very strange. We try now in 2025 to act like we're all evolved, that but we're basically at the core, we're still the same.
Right.
That's why I think a lot of guys now, guys especially, can have a hard time because it's hard for a man to know what his role is anymore. You know, back the 60s guy or the 50s guy, it was pretty straightforward. You go to work, you ignore your kids, you work hard, and you think that's how I contribute to my family. And now a man has to, in 2025, if you're a father, you better be there for your child all the time in all ways. Like almost a second mother in many ways.
Well, yeah, because women are out there working hard just like men are.
Sure.
So
sure.
why should women work all day long, 8-9 hours, and then come home, pick up the kids,
and still have to do all the womanly chores? Yeah. I'm using air quotes right now.
That's why.
Right.
You know, when that was what the woman did all day, well, maybe things were a little different then. But
right.
That's not how people live today in most cases.
So if you find a guy that does all those things, does them the right way, you'll find an older guy, your grandfather or somebody like, oh, Jesus, my son-in-law is not even a real man. You know what I mean? Because they think you're supposed to not be involved. It's just weird. And hopefully we will all keep evolving quicker, because in many ways for men, it's sad when you think about it, when they're raised to have a strange and very different relationship with their children than they should have. You know, where a cuddly or affectionate father is viewed as strange. Like that's not how you're supposed to be. I think we're all still juggling life and juggling how life's supposed to be. That's all I got. What do you got?
Well, I think the moral of the story is communication.
Sure.
Even if sometimes you don't speak the same language, be patient with one another and be empathetic, regardless of what some people might say that empathy is a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. And well, I mean, almost. Yeah, empathy.
If that's a fault, that's a great fault to have.
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Empathy is at my core, because empathy is how you can understand things from other people's point of view.
Right.
And care about other people. You know,
sure.
If you don't have empathy, how do you care about other people? And why wouldn't you care about other people?
Sure. But as a man, you grew up like I grew up. I think it's changing now. But it was weakness to show that empathy.
Yeah.
You know, a saying, rub some dirt on it, man up. Do you need a skirt? You know what I mean?
Weakness is fear leaving the body.
Right. And it's just so silly.
Yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Not directed at me, because I'd been indoctrinated to not do that myself, you know? And it's just really stupid. I find it really stupid. And this whole ramble is because I remembered that video I saw of a guy, and women might not see it. If I find the link, I'll have it in the description. You might not see what I saw in it, but I saw a guy that is just like, well, I'm done talking to you about shit that matters to me. You know what I mean? And
I get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you haven't seen the video.
No, I don't think you ever sent that to me.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah. That's all we got. We'll talk more later about other stuff.
There's that back leg.
Boo boo. What's up, man? You zoom in.
He's itchy.
How do you zoom in? Oh. Boo boo kitty.
Look at the tail.
Boo boo kitty, give me a headbutt. Give me a headbutt.
He's going. He's itchy. Why is he so itchy?
3 timings.
I think he's a little big for that platform.
You're too big for that platform. You're gonna fall.
I can hear him purring.
Weirdo.
Vinny. What's up, Vin?
You need a vet. You need a guy that knows the system, who won comeback player of the year in the system.
Not much between. I can't say between those ears. Between that ear and no ear.
The one rookie who stays, right? I mean, you can't keep. That's where we're going to be for the draft next year as well. The handoff has occurred from Green Bay to Pittsburgh. Next year's draft is going to be in the Steel City in April of 2026.
My only advice for the three of us is, for Manning Brothers, got to wait till day 3, guys. We do that day 1. We don't get to day 3. Pace yourself.
He really is a complete goofball. And for as long as I've rented this house, there have been deer that live pretty much in my backyard or the neighbor's backyard, and the voice just couldn't get over it because, you know, moving up to the Yoop where I'm at right now as I record this, we don't get deer in the backyard here, but in a much more populated area in Ohio around Dayton, had deer there all the time. So it's weird. It's a young buck, this one. I sure hope the next people leave them alone. While we were there, we also had a pregnant doe, which I've seen in that backyard all the time. When I mow, there was always deer poop. So it's pretty wild how, you know, we have to try to live with animals, and they try to do their best to find some place to live as we keep sprawling into their habitat. All right, hey YouTubers, I'm not sure what's been said and what hasn't been said. It's the day after I think I said something last time.
Yep.
Yesterday, we went to Costco. That was yesterday?
Yeah.
Amongst all the cleaning we're doing and getting ready to move. And we've had some issues with Vinny. He's having some bathroom issues, we'll say. And we had to take him to the vet here. They were fantastic. They got me in with like no notice. I think I talked about this. I can't remember. My hands are bleached. But first they gave us an oral liquid to squirt into his throat. I've never seen a cat vomit so much. Took about 10 seconds and there was vomit everywhere. And then I rushed back and they gave me pills, and the pills worked great. So he appears to be doing better. A couple days ago, it was like warm pudding, and now it's like cold soft serve. And that's all you really need to know.
That's descriptive.
That's gross. Very gross. But he seems to be doing better. He's happier. It was quite an ordeal with the liquid stuff. So I don't know if you ever, what's that stuff called, Voice? The liquid that we squirted in it. Ever tells you
it's called Flagyl.
Flagyl. If a vet ever tells you, well, we'll give him this or her,
make sure it's a pill.
Opt for the pill. Okay, so that's Vinny. He's doing great. He's back at the house. So right now, if you've watched for a long time, you may have chuckled when I explained that I'm from New York, but I got deported to Ohio. Well, today we're going to the place I was deported to. Oh, shoot. We're going to the place I was deported to and got to do some business, and we should be back in a little bit. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Maybe that's why they wanted us. Did they want us to go a different way?
They did, and maybe this is why.
It's probably why.
You think you're going to outsmart the Google, and usually that doesn't turn out so well.
Google knew what I was doing.
The Google knew.
All right, everything's cool. We've gone 100 yards since then. Apparently somebody may have hit a light pole, it looked like. But the car didn't look too messed up, so he might have sideswiped it. And we're back to going. So we might talk more later. Look at this person. I barely said that. You heard me. I guess there's a big difference when it's not driving, even though this car's pretty quiet. We're going this way. I'm not going to tell you where we're going because, you know, I think I'm clandestine or something like that, or just aloof or whatever. But we're going up on 68. That's as much as I'll tell you.
Not for sale.
Cat is not for sale. You go to jail for that. I have an uncle that's got a long joke. He told my grandmother. He was driving on, he tells her this joke. He's driving on a country road. And how's it go? And he tells it pretty good. My gram was always so susceptible. You know what I mean? She believed everything. And he said, I was driving on this country road, and he described where it was. And she goes, oh, yeah, I know where it was. All of a sudden, there's a cat. And I swerved, but I couldn't miss it. And I ran it over. And there's a house right there. So I'm like, oh, God, I think I hit he's like, oh, God, I think I hit these people's cat. So he goes up there, right, and he's talking to the woman's home, the guys at work. He's saying, I'm so sorry, and the police pull up. He ends up telling my gram that the police put cuffs on the woman. He's like, what the heck is going on? Because he had given her $20 because he felt bad. And the police arrested her for selling the P word. Badoom bop. Another name for a cat. That's a terrible joke. My grandmother believed it until we had to explain it to her. So there's a story that nobody will care about. Maybe you'll get a chuckle. That's it for now.
Maybe she didn't get it.
She got it. It took a little help, but she got it.
Okay.
Then she got mad and cursed at him and slapped him. Because that's how my grandmother did business.
These few hours, I mean, whatever, say 9 hours south, makes such a big difference in weather.
It's funny that the voice is happy. She's like, this is so beautiful. This is really nice. And I'm like, this is Ohio. And like my friend said, that I think I already talked about this.
You did?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I'm nothing if not thorough or redundant. But I will miss Ohio.
You know, I think it's like, that's why you got so excited about the UP. And for me, I'm like, well,
right.
It was good seeing it through your eyes because I'm like, okay, all right, I see.
Right.
But it's like it's mundane and you're just used to it and you don't think it's magical or anything like that. And this is really pretty here.
And I have to admit this is pretty, but then when like we're up there, we go for walks and we can walk to Lake Michigan. And then we take an hour drive shorter than what we're going to do. And we could be in Lake Superior.
Right.
You know, Ohio, if you go camping, there's a few nice areas, but a lot of it are small woods, you know. But, yeah, I get it. It's pretty. I get it.
I have a particular affinity in my heart for rolling hills and deciduous trees. Look at me. I sound like a scientist or something.
You don't sound like a scientist. You sound like a forester.
I sound like I'm presumptuous.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody that's into forestry. Arborist.
I sound like an arborist now.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice house. That's fancy.
No, I like I've always like pictured myself living in the middle of some land that had rolling hills and leaf trees.
All right.
That just like that's a happy feeling for me. I had somebody that when I was in high school I used to babysit, and she had a property like that, and I really liked it. I like a house that's like surrounded by leaf trees. I don't know why.
And me, I want water.
I like the feeling. Well, don't get me wrong. I like water too, but
I could deal with a river, but I want a lake.
this is really pretty in through here.
Yeah, it's quite green. Mm-hmm. It looks like the sky's blowing it out. And I think, isn't it cool? I kind of like this Action 4, how it does the sky. Because look at the camera and then look at the actual sky.
Well,
It looks better in the camera.
yeah, somehow it is balancing out the light
Better than the trees.
better than our eyes are.
Yeah. So that's that. We'll talk later.
Which literally, like when I'm editing photos or whatever, you drop the highlights and you play games with it to get the sky to improve, and this is doing it on its own.
Right. And when you watch my videos, you always know that I'm too lazy. What you see is what the camera gave me.
I like editing. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, like look over there. Look how pretty that is.
It's a cornfield. It's going to be a
No.
burn.
No.
I see the rolling hill. I see it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All
right.
the grass and the.
And when we get back to the Yoop, I was like, look, Lake Superior. But yeah, you're right. It's neat to see places through other people's eyes. And that's all she wrote. This is Mechanicsburg. Cute little section right here. I've never explored much of Mechanicsburg. I don't know what's here. There used to be a building there. Yeah. I think there's a bowling alley on here to the right, around this bend. Used to be. Or maybe something over here. Family Dollar now. Because, of course, if you don't have a Walmart, you got one or the other. Yep. Cosmic Bowling.
Oh. Well, it's still open.
Yep. You're in Ohio. That's a nice house.
Beautiful.
Yeah. People like bowling in Ohio. And somewhere along the road, there's a golf course with a tee right off the side of the road. And I will remember years and years ago, I was going by and I blew my horn as the guy was in his backswing. And I saw him like, you son of a bitch kind of thing. Because I could be a jerk. He was probably having a great day and ruined his round. I'm taking a mulligan, that son of a... All right, that's it for now. We moved to Milford Center.
It's a cute tiny town.
Rural
of course,
Ohio.
They have a Dollar General.
Sure. Yummy's Bar and Grill. I think there's a river. Once we go through this, I think there's a little river.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's funny, like you're saying. We should do more of that in the Yoop. We'll go through little towns and not just drive through them. Like, I've driven through this a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I've never turned left or turned right and looked at anything. Yeah. I've never gotten out and walked around this little thing.
Darby Creek.
Yeah. It's pretty.
That looks like a river.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Or even, we should do, maybe people would like looking at it. There's ghost towns up in the Yoop, you know?
Sure.
It'd be cool to go check them out.
Wow, somebody's building a new house here. Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. We're putting that on the list. All right, that was that. 9/11, never forget. Very true, very true. Vinny had some rough times, but he seems to be back to normal. We found places for a lot of my stuff up here in the Yoop, but not all of it yet, but we'll get there. I included these because I took them for somebody who I had to tell how bad my bachelor pad was that I use bungee cords and chip clips as window treatments. This is Skyline Chili. We still haven't eaten in a restaurant together yet. We plan to go to 3 places. This was the only one. The Voices verdict, not so much. I guess it's a tiny bit bittersweet that I might miss this place a bit, but I'm really excited to move to the Yoop. But I figured I would give you a tour of the place I lived for quite a while. The rent was super cheap, and if you look at the floor, you'll see the pink carpet that was in my thrift store videos. Hi, Boo Boo Kitty. Say goodbye to here for the last time. This is where I've lived for a long time. Leaving my landlord some stuff. It's weird. It's a great transition in life, but it's weird. Cheap rent, good friend. Gonna miss my neighbors next door. But here we go. On to the next and best part of life, the next chapter. So I am super excited to try to become a Yooper, to try to do it justice. I show you all these pictures of amazing places I've seen in the UP already, and there's lots more to see. Have a great and wonderful day.